My name is Avy Taylor. I graduated from UTD in 2022 with my degree in Interdisciplinary Studies. And the two focuses that I did were public health and political science. Yeah, I've been doing stand-up in Dallas for 2 years, and I also do improv comedy. And in the last few months, I've gotten into clowning. Yeah, I studied, so I was an international affairs student at Florida State my first year. I studied biochem at UT the second year, and then I actually had a mental health episode and I had to leave college, and I did volunteer work in South America by myself for a couple months, and then I knew that I wanted to go into politics and go into economic reform, so UTD made perfect sense to build my major whenever I got here. I came here because I had built a career in Dallas and I wanted to stay here. And I had had some friends that went to UTD and they spoke really highly about like the internship placements here and about how just the teachers were really supportive, and it made sense at the time. And then I found out about the School of Interdisciplinary Studies and how you could build your own major, and I was like, this is perfect. I just feel like UTD is a family that you really won't see anywhere else. Like, students aren't competing with each other. We all just want each other to do better. And I remember I told my dad about this, like one of my first weeks in coming here. There are signs around campus that say you belong here. Mm-hmm. Coming from UT Austin, it was like, let's see that you don't belong here.
Really?
Yeah, like let's see if you're gonna sink or you're gonna swim. But here, seeing that you belong here, it just made me feel like I was so capable as a student. When I came to UTD, I had already been to Florida State for 1 year. I had then been to UT Austin for another year and a half. So by the time that I came here, I had already built a repertoire of so many different classes in biochemistry and political science and a bunch of random stuff. So by the time that I came here, I kind of knew that I wanted to build my career in healthcare studies. So it made sense to me to kind of like build my own major. UTDIS gave me the courage to pursue all of these different avenues. Comedy, clowning, public health, Miss America, mental health advocacy. Dr. Stark, because I took her healthcare studies class and her public health class. And she's really tough. And at the time, I was so dedicated to like, I'm gonna do the most here. And I was like, I like you and I am going to figure you out and we are going to be friends. Mm-hmm. I don't think that she really knew what to make of me at the time, but I ended up being her TA and we still talk. I brought her a pastry. What I love about Dr. Stark is that she's very serious about bringing her students into healthcare. Like, she's not just a teacher who's doing her research on the side. She's passionate about bringing all of her experience into the classroom. Like, if you want to know about her research, she will tell you about it. She will help you with planning your future. Like, she is passionate about her work, and I admire her so much for that. Yes, so with my degree in public health and political science, I actually did mental health advocacy work. I competed in Miss America. I was Miss Louisville 2024 and Miss Fort Worth 2025. Yes, thank you. So I had the opportunity to choose a community service initiative, and I chose mental health reform. So with my IS degree, I was so lucky to learn how the healthcare system worked and learned how I could influence policies that actually created change. So I actually went to the state capitol last year and I got to speak with representatives and senators about what bills to pass for mental health reform. Maybe. That was what I did for 2 years, and I feel like I made waves. I feel like I made change. I got to speak to hundreds of kids about mental health, and I got to help pass these policy bills. And I think mental health reform is still really important to me, but I've actually moved into having my own marketing agency.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you do with your marketing agency? Who do you work with?
So I work for myself. Shameless plug, Avy Taylor Marketing. But I get to do marketing for a bunch of different agencies and people. So mental health reform is still really important to me. But yeah, now I've moved into being a creative. And another quote, if you want it, UTIS or UTDIS made me feel like I had all of the different education and tools that I needed to create whatever future that I wanted. So at the time, it was mental health reform, but also marketing and creative stuff if I wanted to do that. This is my favorite story ever about don't follow what your parents wanted you to do because you're gonna crash out. I was a pre-med biochem student at UT Austin.
Oh God.
And I hated it. I hated it so much. I realized I was a very social person and biochem, it just wasn't for me. And so I fought that so hard internally for a long time before I realized this is just not working for me. So I took that big step and I left university and I worked a little bit. I worked in a factory. I waited tables. I had that international mission by myself, and just taking steps on your own to prove that you can do things for yourself and make decisions. Recommend it to everyone. Take that plunge. I can't even begin to explain. So I came to Peru by myself as an independent volunteer. I wasn't with a mission or anything because I'm very passionate about not taking people's jobs and not being like a savior coming to a country that doesn't necessarily need my help. So I went on the Peruvian version of a Craigslist, and they were really desperate for volunteers at the shelter. So I was like, hey, I will live here and I will be amongst you guys. If you give me a place to stay, I will take care of your girls. And I was not expecting to be a big sister and be a mentor and be like a mother, honestly. And like one of the most important things that happened was I saw that these girls were just like my younger sister who was in middle school in Plano at the time. And we would talk about like what they wanted to do with their lives, and they wanted to be police officers, and they wanted to go into government or be a teacher. And I realized that their economy was not built for them to achieve their dreams. So I thought, whenever I come back to the US, I don't know when, but I want to go into a field where I can make it possible for them. Well, I will tell you, as a 26-year-old person now, my classmates that I went to high school with, to university with, they're rethinking their careers now. So please do not rush yourself into picking a career that you're going to decide actually wasn't for you. You know?
Yeah.
So I would encourage people to take their time in their 4 years and try out every program and every club and every organization that the school has to offer, and keep an open mind. Like you might go in thinking that you're pre-med, but then figure out that you are like an activist. Like I started pre-med and I finished in public health and mental health reform. And so I did a lot of work for suicide prevention as a Miss Texas contestant. So I've studied, suicide prevention education. The thing that helps me the most is you always have something to live for. If you just make it to the morning, the next day will be better. Like time will heal you. So that's what I've always told myself. You have so much life left, and it's better than not being here anymore. Like the net positive, if you just stay, you will find something that will make your life better. And that's what happened. Like like in 2019, whenever I was having this mental breakdown in the library at UT Austin, I had no idea that I would go on to be mentored by a professor at UTD that actually cared about me, that I would find my love for stand-up comedy, that I would find my love for clowning, that I would go on to compete for Miss Texas. If you just make it to the next day, so many opportunities will open up for you that you've never even thought about before.